everybody's second favorite drink, which is, as you can guess, wine. First favorite drink is water, because you all need it to survive. So imagine with me that you are preparing to go to a dinner party, and you say to yourself, I can't cook. What can I bring to this dinner party? Wine. Is that it? So you go down this aisle at the grocery store, and you notice that there's bottles upon bottles upon bottles upon bottles with medals, and bottles with awards, and bottles with pretty pictures. And you say to yourself, how do I know which wine is better than another? All of them are about the same price. Some really look bad, so you know not to choose that. And some is just out of your price range. This problem is becoming more and more apparent as more and more people are drinking wine. And my research will enable you to pick the best one. So basically my thesis was, what can the typical wine consumer do to improve their chances of looking good when they take wine out? Because you don't want to be that person that everyone's like, I'll drink Coke. So basically I did a lot of research on it, and I realized that wine is both the art and the science. You have the fundamental processes of wine, which is like harvesting, putting it in a container, does magic, hocus pocus, and then out pops beautiful wine. Then you also have the art part of it, where people want to taste the oakiness of it, and the mildewiness of it, and all the other fancy words they use with wine. Wine, in essence, is an experience good, so you must consume it first before you understand the quality of it, which can be a problem, because you can't go down the aisle just sampling all the wine. You get in trouble. So, Miss Emily said that wine is an experience good, and that we look towards experts to pick out what wine we want. So you've heard of Wine Spectator, and all these wine people, and all these snuffy nose people. Wine, you know. So basically, they have a lot of theories on how wine can be amazing, what wine is bad, but it's all based on their taste. And what if your taste is not their taste, which in most cases, it's not. So, I found an article, which was different than any other article I found. And it was basically using data mining for the quality of wine. Most articles associated the quality of wine with the price of wine, which, as you guys all experience, is not true. You can buy a very expensive car, and you can buy a pretty ugly beat-up car for the same price, but you wouldn't know which one is a lemon. So this article basically uses the physical compounds, which are the chemical compounds, of the wine itself to determine subjectively what the quality would be. And I found my data from University of California, Irvine's machine learning repertoire. For this research, I only used the red wine thing because it would have taken forever to do both. And you guys really just like red wine because that goes with all the meats and everything else, unless you're like a vegetarian or something. So basically the wines are based off of wines of Portugal. I had 1,599 observations with no missing values. See, I couldn't find that last one to make it even. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. So there are 11 chemical properties which are basically found in most of the wines you consume. And the quality, or our dependent variable, is based on the sensory data given from our wine critics. These are the properties of the wines, and basically, as I stated before, they're usually found in most wines, and each one of them play a different role in the wine, however. So, when I found all that information, I had to put this into some kind of way to analyze it. So this is my regression, and a regression basically shows the relationship between the wine inequality, and the characteristics, and it helps you understand what makes wine wine. So basically for the dependent variables, you'll see that I did not list all of the ones you saw before. The reason was because with red wine, which is different than white wine, different chemical properties play a different role in the wine. So we have the pH level, and that plays a role in the wine by, if the wine is more basic or higher pH level, it tastes worse. So that is why our intercept is negative. And with alcohol, which is a pretty big important factor of why most people drink wine, is positive. And the higher the alcohol content, the better your wine quality. Voltaic acid, acidity, is what's usually in vinegar. If vinegar was in wine, you wouldn't drink it. Sulfates and free sulfur dioxide both assist in the preservation of the wine, which is important because if the wine were to go bad, you wouldn't drink it. Chlorides are also negative in this sense because it represents the reverse osmosis treatment, which is in some wines, and that increases the saltiness of the wine. And then you have total sulfur dioxide, which is also negative because too much of a good thing is bad. So too much of a preservation in the wine makes it bad. In addition to doing the OLS regression, I did a logic model which shows the different categories of the wine according to grouping, which means it doesn't show the difference between two groups, it shows the difference, it shows the qualities in a group. As you can see, the results for both the OLS and the logic model are similar, which is a good thing, which means I did my research right. And both of them had a R squared of 35%, which means I was able to predict 35% of the variation of the wine according to just its chemical properties, which means there's room for improvement. The other 2/3 was due to the variation. So the climate of the wine, the region of the wine also play an influence on the wine. And further research can be done to improve this and help you guys all pick a better wine. So with that knowledge, hopefully you'll be able to go to a grocery store one day, look at the bottle of both of the wines, hopefully see the alcohol content, hopefully be able to use some science brain of yours to pick the best wine. And I will be glad to help you taste them.